Stephen, Noise Engineering. We're here at Namm, and you've got a bunch of new stuff and one thing that's just been released, right?
Yep, yeah, so we'll start with the thing that just came out, called the Sottero. Should be available widespread at this point. So this was an iteration of the Sottero. A friend of ours basically wanted a much more aggressive version. It became a much different beast. It's a little more of a voice, a little less of a drum. It's just a really harsh, gritty, industrial voice. I'll just turn the knobs to give you a bit of a taste of the flavor. So that's out now, and so the next module will be the bin seek that we'll talk about, which is what's currently triggering the Sottero. So this is a very simple 8-step gate sequencer. It's being driven by a rhythm, but that's fine. And it basically just allows you to control eight gates in time. The switches are actually 3 positions, so if you put them in the middle, you can actually make gates that last for multiple beats as well. This is totally in the wrong place, but that's fine.
So I think the thing that I found, because I've used the Sottero quite a bit, and I think the thing that I found is that although it's kind of designed, I suppose, to be quite aggressive, I can get it. You can get it to sound
it gets very pretty.
Sweet, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like if you tone the harmonics down, which I can do if I would plug this in. Here, we'll go back to the Manus. You can make a lot of just kind of detuned, chorusy, and it can be very, very tame and very without, and it definitely will just, you can immediately go aggressive with it, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I think that's what I quite like about it, is that you can go from something quite sweet and a couple of knob turns and you're into absolute gnarly territory.
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of like the Loquelic in that it can definitely get very tame, but then you can get as gross as you want to be with one turn of a knob. Okay, bin seek.
So yeah, sorry, this is an 8-step.
It's 8-step gate sequencer. It's very, very simple. It's just for a little bit of programmability in a small space. I actually often use it a lot, where each beat is actually a measure. Each step is a measure, where I can, at the end of an 8-bar segment, like I can kick something off for the last 2 bars or something like that. Or you can just use it to trigger simple rhythms as well. Next module is the Solio Vero. So this is a strobe tuner for HP. There's 3 inputs that normals through, so you can tune without repatching. A lot of people use guitar tuners, but they have to patch them in, and it's kind of a mess. So it's pretty simple. You just choose what note you want to tune to, and then there's a coarse and a fine indicator, and you just make the pattern be still. And once it's not moving, you're in tune.
Okay.
Pretty simple, but doesn't exist, and it's super useful. The next, I actually need to put this back on. So the next, the next module is Clep Diaz, which is it's a clocked LFO. So you give it a clock, and it does a variety of LFO things on the output. So step mode, you control the number of steps in the cycle. So you can make these very rhythmic LFO cycles. So at the base, it's just a back and forth.
So at the moment, it's just controlling
it's just
the low pass.
The low pass on the Manus.
Yeah.
Let me actually. We'll tone it down just a bit here. Yep. So really easy to generate little polyrhythms and things like that, but with CVs for CV control. The random step mode it's the same control structure where you're controlling the number of beats in the cycle, but the steps vary a little bit, so it doesn't exactly repeat itself, so you can get a little bit of just randomization. And the third mode is a continuous LFO, but it's still, let me this one. So you give it a clock, and it outputs a noise LFO that's continuous, but it tracks the clock. So if I speed the clock up, it tracks it. So you can kind of think of it as like an adaptively filtered noise LFO, but you can give it a rhythm or a clock, and it will track that. Okay, and last, but definitely not least, is the Mimetic Digitalis. This is my favorite of the new modules. So it's 10 HP, it's a 16-step 4-output CV sequencer that's there's both a lot of programmatic editing and a lot of performance editing in it. So I'll show you my favorite bit of it first. So you can basically just press and turn this knob. Oh, I should probably turn the oscillator on. So we are, let me actually rematch that too. So we're just going to route the 4 CVs to the 4 tone controls on a Loquelica Territas. But I can just like press and turn this. And it will record what I do. There's a bunch of like quick edits, so I can zero pattern out. Let me speed the clock up just a wee bit. I can go in and just edit part 1. So it's a really easy way to just go in and live perform little curves and stuff, which is mostly, that's my favorite thing about it, honestly. So we'll zero. Another fun thing, shred basically just randomizes the current step. Way you can like basically just tap into rhythm and get, you know, a modulated version of that rhythm come out. There's X and Y sequencing, so you can also trigger it sort of Cartesian style, so X or Y. Or also there's a random in, so if you just want chaos. You can also drive it with CVs instead of gates.
And can you use all of those inputs simultaneously?
Yes. So, yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you could drive gates and CVs all at the same time.
So you could clock X and Y and then hit random, have a gate
every now and
again.
Yep.
And then, okay.
Or do like something like this where I'll. So there's a basic clock going through the pattern, but then I can hit it with an envelope on the CV input and get like a little freak out, and then the envelope will cut out, and then it'll basically resume back where it was. So you can do like little triggered things as well. So yeah, all of those work all together. You can save 16 patterns as well as load.
And does it? Yeah. So it needs to be clocked. It doesn't have like an internal clock.
It doesn't need a clocker. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, excellent.
And the outputs are quantized as well. Or you can, if you're editing and in coarse edit mode, the steps are actually in semitones. Or if you just tap this encoder, it will quantize whatever is selected to the nearest semitone.
And then just one more module, right? The muter.
Oh yeah. Oh, I actually was going to do that earlier. So this is a really, really simple module. It's 4 mutes. So that's pretty much it. 4 ins, 4 outs. The switches connect the input to the output.
And is it just for gates, or
no? It's audio too.
Audio too, and CV, obviously.
Yep. I mean, we made it because it's a great pair with our NR if you want to, or the NR, the numeric competitor and auxiliary competitor if you want to add mutes to it. That's really why we're making it, but you can use it for all sorts of other things too.
Excellent. Well,
awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
See you soon.
Thanks for stopping by.